Hello friends and welcome to today's blog. So I was having a discussion with a friend of mine a few days back about the shift in trends of auto buyers in developed countries towards crossovers and SUVs instead of cars. It is a clear case of first world problems for those people. The roads in their countries are extremely good, but still the buying trends are changing. By the way, the trend in our country is not very different either. But that is a long discussion that deserves its own video. However, this did get us to thinking, what is the best overall vehicle for a country like ours? Which type of vehicle is best suited for the roads here? Surely in cities like Islamabad or Lahore, you can have what you want. The roads are relatively in good order and you don't have to worry about scrapping the bottom of your car wherever you go, especially if you have a sedan or a hatchback, etc. Even if mostly you drive in the city, people do have homes in villages or other areas where roads are not usually in good shape. That is where sedans and such cars are not that great. The seating capacity might be okay, but the ride height is not up to the requirements. Here we reach another problem. If people in this case go for big vehicles such as a big full-size SUV, for example, a new Prado or an old Prado or a Toyota Land Cruiser or Toyota Surf or Pajero, majority times the roads in small village areas are not big enough to comfortably drive such big behemoths. So again, the element of discomfort gets into the driving part. This is where I think small SUV or crossovers such as the Toyota RAV4 that you see behind me comes into play. They are big enough to carry 5 with plenty of room for luggage, and the ride height is good enough to tackle any city road and especially any village or rural road. But this being Pakistan, anything with a Toyota badge, even if it is a dirt, is priced like it is gold. With the price hikes of the new car, the old cars such as these have skyrocketed in price as well. That is a bad thing. However, still, if you are interested in SUV and see its overall benefits over a normal sedan such as the Corolla or Civic, and don't mind if you get a slightly older but more practical family daily driver, then stick around as we take a look at the Toyota RAV4 that you see behind me and find out why it is overall better choice for roads of Pakistan. Now let us check out the interior. You can lock and unlock the car through this button in the key. Locked. And same button for unlocking. Or you can lock and unlock through this key. As you can see, most of the interior parts are finished in hard plastic materials, but there is some use of cloth as well. And these door handles are finished in gray color, and the center part is in perforated material. That looks really nice. It has power windows, electric retractable side mirrors. The steering wheel has tilt adjustment, but it does not have any telescopic adjustment. And the driver's seat has height adjustment as well as it can be moved forward or backward, so drivers with different heights can easily set a comfy driving position for themselves. It has this beautiful 3-spoke leather finished steering wheel, and it has nice amount of side bolstering to hold it properly. Optional floor mats with RAV4 logo. This is the very simple instrument cluster, and Toyota has tried to give it a sportier look by placing the RPM meter in the middle. However, compared to the sports car, it is smaller in size. On the left hand side you can see speedometer, and on the right hand side you can see fuel gauge and coolant temperature gauge. Then here is a mic for Bluetooth connectivity. Fog lamps. Wipers has intermittent switch. Moving on to the middle part, as you can see that the air conditioning vents and the infotainment system has this surround finished in metallic gray color fixed by Alki nuts that gives it a rugged look, and this looks really nice. Here is the infotainment system. It has auxiliary port and USB connection and SD card for the navigation, and it has a bunch of different features which we are not going into much detail of as it will take longer. Then here is the automatic climate control. It's finished in black, looks really nice. And below here is a ashtray and a cigarette lighter, a small pocket to place something, 2 cup holders for the front passengers, and they are adjustable according to the needs. Automatic gearbox, coin holder, 12-volt power outlet, handbrake, another pocket to hold something, and here is a center console to store something. At the moment it has a number of masks due to COVID. Here is the glove box, you can store anything, some more masks. There is some storage in the doors as well. It has these vanity mirrors, not illuminated, sunglass holder, map reading lamps. Overall, the dash design is very decent, simple, yet very functional. It comes up with 2 airbags. Now let us check out the passenger side. The passenger seat does not have any height adjustment, and the seats are finished in grey cloth that looks really nice, and the center part of the seats is finished in meshed cloth. I personally like this headrest style. It looks really nice. The rear end of this RAV4 is also very decent and nice. Most of the RAV4 comes up with spoiler on the trunk, but this one does not have it. I personally like this spare wheel on the trunk lid. That looks really nice. It gives it rugged look. In addition, you can see it has wiper for the rear window and wind washer as well. The radio antenna is mounted on the roof. You can lock or unlock the trunk through this button in the key, or simply you can use the key for locking on unlocking purpose. Let us check out the trunk space now. The rear door opens sidewards, and it may be problematic in tight parking spaces, or maybe if there is a car parked right behind you, you may not be able to open it easily. It has decent amount of cargo space, and if required you can easily remove this privacy cover. It also has these extensions which can be mounted to the headrests on either side. Removing this privacy cover is really very simple. You can just pick it up. So this is the amount of cargo space you get, and if required you can even move these rear seats a little bit forward, but that is a very simple process, and you can extend the boot space in that way. And if you require further space, you want to only carry luggage in the rear, then you can even completely remove the rear seats. That is dead easy. It has these storage pockets, tire inflator, this one is empty, and there is some sort of storage space. It has this secret storage, and these anchors to hold anything for you. There are 4 tabs that can hold 4 kg for you in the trunk, 2 on either seats. So we have talked about the front seats, we had a look at the trunk space. Now let us find out how comfy the rear seats are. Speaking about the rear seats, as you can see, there is decent amount of leg room and generous amount of headroom. These rear seats have been designed to accommodate 3 people in comfort. There are 3 seat belts and 2 headrests on the rear seats. Despite being 4-wheel drive, there is hardly any transmission tunnel, so it means that even if you get the middle seat, you have somewhere to place your feet. There are 2 cup holders for the rear passengers, and the rear doors have speakers for the rear passengers. The rear seats does offer some versatility. They can be moved forward or backward depending on the luggage or leg space requirement, and they also have recline adjustment. So if you want to sit in a relaxed position, you can recline them and travel comfortably over long distances. But there is one observation: if you move these seats forward, the leg room is limited and taller persons will find it difficult sitting here. So in such a condition, I think kids can only comfortably sit here. Another good thing about this vehicle is that the rear windows are tinted and they have the UV protection as well. The front windows are not tinted, but they also have UV protection, so it makes the air conditioning more effective and it helps keep the temperature in control. Let's have a look what's underneath the hood. The second generation RAV4 was offered with 4 different engines. This is the 2-liter 1AZ FE engine that develops 150 horsepower at 6000 rpm and 193 newton meters of torque at 4000 rpm. It has 9.6 to 1 ratio compression ratio. It has 4 valves per cylinder, so in total it's a 16 valve engine. It is a dual overhead cam engine, and the intake camshaft is equipped with Toyota variable valve timing system that can alter the timing by 50 degrees for improved efficiency. This 2-liter engine is mated to a 4-speed automatic gearbox that shifts the gear very smoothly and transfers the power to all 4 wheels. Now let us start up the engine. You need to insert the key and turn the ignition on. So let us take this thing for a test drive and see how does it drive like. The very first thing I would like to mention is that as you can see that these front seats have sufficient amount of side bolstering to hold you firmly. So I would say that these front seats are very supportive. One of the best thing about RAV4 is that it provides a very balanced seating position with all around good visibility, and it does not have any blind spots. You get a clear view of the road ahead that makes driving this thing really easy, especially in rushy areas. The rear view and the side view mirrors gives you good visibility of the traffic behind you, and parking this thing is really very easy, especially if it has this sports mirror on the left fender that makes the parking really easy in tight spaces. Okay, so coming to the handling part, the steering is much responsive than what would you expect, and that is why it handles so good. It handles like a car, although not the purpose of this vehicle, but if you take it on a track to test it, I bet you will not be disappointed. There is some body roll going around the corners and the ride is a little bit bumpy as you would simply expect from a crossover, but it is reasonably comfortable for driving around town and even for long journeys. Cabin insulation is good and it is quiet at speeds, but if you go for the diesel version there is little bit of engine sound that you can hear at speed, but that's not annoying. The turbo diesel version has good performance and better fuel consumption in contrast to the other available engines. This 2-liter petrol engine is good at doing its job. On highways, at speeds, you will notice this petrol version struggling overtaking sometimes, but it's not bad at all. I wish it had a turbocharged engine. Fuel economy is around 10 kilometers per liter, which is not impressive point of this vehicle, though it is very reliable. The latest crossovers these days comes up with modern technology. For instance, if you go for Lexus 470h or if you go for the basic thing, the Honda Vezel, it has the modern technology, and to me those vehicles feels more digital these days. And if you go for this RAV4, it is more organic, and which is something I like. But if you go for the latest RAV4 that comes up with plug-in hybrid and 305 brake horsepower, it's the game changer now, because it has class leading power and efficiency both. And it is Toyota, so as a used proposition, the Toyota name is as close to watertight guarantee as it's possible to get. The RAV4 comes up with independent McPherson strut suspension at front and double wishbone coil spring suspension at the rear, along with stabilizing bars both front and back. It comes up with hydraulic power assisted rack and pinion type steering with 16:1 ratio steering ratio and 2.9 turns lock to lock. RAV4 comes up standard with anti-lock brake system and electronic brake force distribution system, along with 10.7-inch ventilated disc up front with single piston caliper and 9-inch drum brakes in the rear. This setup brings the vehicle to a complete stop from a speed of 100 km per hour in 123 feet. This RAV4 comes up with the 16-inch 7-inch wide aluminum alloy wheels wrapped in 215/70 R16 Dunlop tires. Overall body length is 166.5 inches, width is 68.3 inches, height is 66.1 inches, whereas the wheelbase is 98 inches. Total curb weight for this car is 1445 kg. So overall this second generation RAV4 has what you want. The first gen before it had the young 90s hip look. But from this second gen on, you could tell Toyota wanted this small SUV to be a serious consideration for people, especially small families. Toyota beefed out the looks of this RAV4 in all the right places. It looks better than the thin and nimble look of the older version, and this is the cutest RAV4 among all generations so far. It is go anywhere vehicle with capability of off-roading up to some extent. It is reliable, it is durable and fun to drive. So with regards to all these positives, I would have to conclude that it is an overall better choice for roads in Pakistan. So if you are looking for a vehicle with elevated seating position and good rugged looks, that is go anywhere car, easy to live with, reliable and capable, fun to drive,